Trap House, Trap House. Trap House, Trap House. Oklahoma Sooners 2021 defense preview. Let's trap about it. The conditioning and winter workout seasons are pretty much over. It's time to get ready for the spring. And Oklahoma has their eyes set on not only a Big 12 championship, but another trip to the college football playoffs. But this time, the Sooners are chasing that crystal ball. And if they're going to get there, it's going to be because of Alex Grinch and his defense. The vast improvements that Coach Grinch brought to OU on his defensive side seem to be a bit unnoticed. Well, not unnoticed by the boosters, as be it they gave him a nice little pay raise from $1.4 million a year to $1.8 million a year. That's when you know that the boosters know your worth and know your value. Big Trap really loves the diverse staff that Lincoln Riley and company are building down at OU. Coach Brian Odom, great inside linebacker coach. Coach Jamar, it goes without saying what he does with those outside backers and jacks, DNs and whatnot. Coach Calvin Thibodeau getting the line right, and Coach Manning is a stellar defensive back coach. So now Coach Grinch has his kitchen staff assembled. Now it's time to cook up the meal. Let's trap about it. Sooners defensive coordinator Alex Grinch is ready to take Oklahoma's defense to new heights now that his system is in place and he's been able to recruit the type of players to fit into his Speed D defensive scheme. Coach Grinch is a fiery coach, the perfect yin to Lincoln Riley's Air Raid Yang. A big pillar of Coach Grinch's scheme is relentless effort. A roll call to the football mentality is vital for Coach Grinch's Speed D defensive scheme. See ball, go get ball. The main coaching point in Coach Grinch's scheme is simplicity. In this attack-style defense, Coach Grinch desires that his players are able to play fast. As the legendary coach Bill Walsh would say, a coach's job is to make the complex simple and the simple understandable. OU players can't play fast if they're on the field of play overthinking. Coach Grinch wants his players to be able to play downhill with relentless aggression, as to which hopefully creates turnovers. And we all know that the team that wins the turnover battle tends to win, especially in big games, and especially in the Big 12. Coach Grinch likes to line up in a 3-4 style defense, but it isn't your typical 3-4 defense. The formation structure is simple, but it still allows Grinch to give opposing offenses exotic looks with a boundary corner and a free side corner with fast split safeties up top. Simple rules, nothing cheap, nothing deep. As with any 3-4 style defense, it all starts with the big fellas up front on the D-line. Again, this defensive scheme is all about simplicity. The defensive lineman will play gap-fit defense. Single-run gap-fit defense is pretty much the oldest style of defense when it comes to run responsibility. Again, simplicity. The single-gap defense frees the defensive lineman up, as to which he only has to worry about one gap. Usually, Coach Grinch will line the defensive line up, typically shading them to the field side. But even on film, I noticed he would even shade them to the strength side, depending on the offensive numbers, which is stellar. What makes this 3-4 so different from your typical 3-4 defense is the utilization of the jack linebacker position that Coach Grinch uses. The jack linebacker's role is consistent with most normal defensive boxing ends. Edge. Containment is so vital facing the speed that OU faces in the Big 12. It's real easy for a DN to get sucked inside and fall for the okie doke when it comes to the RPOs, ISOs, inside zones, and whatnot. With big space eaters up front like Isaiah Thomas, Perion Winfrey, I foresee this unit being not only the strong suit of the Sooners defense, but for the entire team as well. Last season alone, I expect him to have a dominant season this year, with Ronnie Perkins more than likely going on to the next level. Young kids coming in like Josh Ellison, Jordan Kelly are definitely going to have to step up. But the signees are big to add that depth. Guys like Kelvin Gilman Jr., Isaiah Coe, and Ethan Downs, the Sooners have definitely reloaded that defensive line depth chart. being that Coach Grinch was able to take the Sooners on defense from the bottom 20 and turning him into a top 20 national defense, I don't know how much more he can improve from there. Now, it's only time to get to that chip. Got to be able to do it against the best in the nation. Let's see if he's up for the task. Trap House. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Next video, we're going to break down Spencer Rattler's chances to win the Heisman Trophy. Trap with me.
5 Heismans, 7 rings, 156 of the best ever.